Now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the North Carolina 8th grade All-Stars. And now the South Carolina 8th grade All-Stars. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, sung by actress and TV personality Brittany Brackett.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That is the voice of Brittany Brackett with our national anthem here as we get ready for the 8th graders at the Carolina Bowl, Brooks Field, Wallace Wade Stadium, Duke University. It is the 4th of our 4 games featured on this Saturday, January 5th. And now our co-captains are making their way toward midfield for the coin toss. For North Carolina, the white jerseys with the white pants. And for South Carolina, it will be the blue jerseys with the white pants. Jay Coombs along with Christian Gold. And Christian, this is the contest we have been looking forward to all day long, because at the 8th grade level, we expect both the intensity and the performance to rise to a new level.
That's right. These kids are essentially at this point knocking on the door, some of them ready to play JV high school football. And honestly, in some areas, some of these guys might be ready for varsity football. I mean, you never really know with the talent level of these kids. These are some of the best from both states. And with the 8th graders, we saw from 5th to 6th to 7th, we saw the intensity and we saw the skill rise up each time. We're expecting a good finale with these 8th graders here.
And let's see, apparently it will be North Carolina to kick off to begin this contest. And it looks like they will be kicking off from right to left to start our game here tonight at Wallace Wade Stadium. Our coverage is brought to you by Panagakis Asphalt Paving, based out of Greenville, South Carolina. Also by Sloan Construction, with corporate headquarters in Duncan, South Carolina. Our thanks to Zenith, the only manufacturer of exclusively designed helmets that withstand the 5-star system. Also, our thanks to NCSA, the Next College Student Athlete, our host university, and very good hospitality, by the way, this week here in Durham, Duke University. And, of course, benefiting from our Carolina Bowl, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Matthew Del Harry on the kickoff for North Carolina.
Now, we're about to have a question answer we've had. Are they going to let them fully have the special teams here and return the ball?
Seems to be a bit of a scramble. No,
And
we
they
are
will
still
not.
going to keep with the rule that there will be no return on the kicks.
Which doesn't surprise me when you think about it. I mean, these are, out of all the groups here, they're the biggest, strongest, fastest, which means the highest risk for injury.
For South Carolina.
So not necessarily a bad decision.
So South Carolina will begin their first offensive drive of this game from their own 21-yard line. Now, of course, completely dark. We are under the stadium lights here at Wallace Wade Stadium.
We have number 6 at quarterback for South Carolina. That is, may take a second on this one.
Our rosters are very, very lengthy on these teams. And overthrown, incomplete on the pass attempt.
Still trying to find a number for number 6, and I actually don't think that we have a 6 on the South Carolina roster.
Okay, we apologize, but the rosters we have been given for the 8th grade teams, well, they're very lengthy, but in some cases we lack numbers, in some cases we lack names. And I do apologize for that. I do not like that.
Now, I can tell you number 3, who just got that pitch there, that is Jalen Neal out of Simpsonville, South Carolina.
Have a penalty flag on that play.
Encroachment.
And it is going to
On
be
a defense.
offsides encroachment
5-yard
on
penalty.
North
3
Carolina.
second down.
That will push the ball up the field 5 yards and takes it out to the 26. So 2nd and 5 for South Carolina. And the quarterback quickly handing off and cutting from right to left, but wow, good job of the defense there. Not fooled by that whatsoever. And about a yard loss.
That looked like number 4 in on that tackle for North Carolina. That is Anthony Smith out of Forest City, North Carolina.
And Christian and I know very well where that town is located. That is our home county.
3rd down and 5.
Actually, 3rd and 6 here for South Carolina. Here's the snap, quarterback, a couple of steps, now firing and incomplete. Looking over to the far side of the field there, but
That was number 4 once again for North Carolina, Anthony Smith on coverage. And the quarterback, he looks like a very tall, sizable quarterback. We've got a couple of tall quarterbacks on the South Carolina roster. I don't want to randomly give a name because, of course, I could very well be wrong.
On the offense, that penalty's declined down. It'll be 4th down.
I will just tell you, though, he is wearing number 6. That is the quarterback right now for South Carolina.
and so facing 4th and nearly 6, it looks like they will punt the football. North Carolina, the receivers, now they cannot actually return it. So the returners are back at about their own 45-yard line. See what kind of leg we have out of an 8th grader. Yeah, it's a bit more, isn't it? And this one is going to be taken at the 30-yard line.
Ball is touched at the 30-yard line. First and 10.
So it's amazing and it's very interesting today, starting with the 5th graders early this morning and then working our way through the 6th, 7th. I think we do. We see a level of physical improvement as we get a bit older.
And I saw the quarterback for South Carolina that time. He was much more active and much more authoritative at the line than any of the other quarterbacks have been, the younger ones. Now it looks like a quarterback for North Carolina, we will have number 10. That is Aliam Appler out of Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina.
Nice place to visit. Appler looking for somebody upfield. Now he's going to have to wisely gets rid of the football, throws it away.
Defense did a good job of putting pressure on Appler that time.
Ball
As you can
comes
see
back.
on the replay there, that was number 58 and number 59, both in there making plays.
Shall we say hot pursuit.
58 is Juan J. Ford out of Greenville, South Carolina.
Zeroing in on the quarterback.
And 59, Carson Lewis out of Greenwood, South Carolina.
Now the handoff, and look at the running room over here, far side of the field. Turns and twists at the end of the play. And he is just across the 35, it appears.
And that was number 8 on the carry for North Carolina. That is Isaiah Roberson. He is out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Right up the road. 3rd and 5 for North Carolina. Trips to the near side. We've got movement prior to the snap. If this is against South Carolina, this will result in 5 yards and a first down for North Carolina.
No, that's against North Carolina.
Oh.
Somehow it is
False
against North
start
Carolina.
on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat
I'm
third
assuming
down.
the false start is what made the defender jump so much.
So the ball comes back 5 yards to the 30. And makes this more of a challenge. 3rd and 10.
Now we may see more open playbooks with these older kids because generally, mentally and physically, they can handle a bit more than the younger kids can.
Quarterback under some pressure, breaks loose, cuts to the near side. Pass, off the fingertips, incomplete.
He was looking for number 2 on that play. And number 2 is, if we can find him, number 2 is Micah Sumter out of Wendell, North Carolina.
Brings up 4th down for the North Carolina offense.
Brings up 4th down, 4th and 5.
And another thing I think we're starting to see little bits and pieces of that we may get in this game that will set it apart even more from the other games. We might see a little bit more chirping and a little bit more talking between these two teams.
So a punt on the way. Goes over the head, but he's able to retrieve it. And now this one has hang time, but it's going to be relatively short. And they will say it is down at the 49. So South Carolina's offense will come back out onto the field. They will start in North Carolina territory at the 49-yard line.
And that big quarterback, number 6, in there for them. He will continue to be the quarterback alongside number 4 and number 5 in the backfield. Number 4 for South Carolina, that is Reese Markham out of Lexington, South Carolina.
There's a snap. It's a handoff, goes to Markham. Markham with a big hole. Look at that. Nice play, nice run here as he takes it all the way up to the 32. Wow, that is like 17 yards on the run.
For South Carolina for first down.
Now on that carry, actually, that was not Markham. Markham is number 4. Number 5 is Logan Coldren out of Simpsonville, South Carolina.
Oh, we had a player from Simpsonville do very well in our 7th grade game, too. And, is that going to be ruled a catch, or was that on the ground. Looks like they're going to say got it there at the 33-yard line. Actually, a bit of a loss on that play if they spot it at the 33. Looks like about a yard lost. So 2nd and 11 for South Carolina. This time around, quick pass play on a slant pattern, and nope, incomplete.
Off the hands of number 3 for South Carolina. That is Jalen Neal out of Simpsonville, South Carolina.
Quarterback really released quickly on that pass.
For South Carolina.
3rd and 11 now for South Carolina. Oh, one of our officials blows a whistle. Now we're ready to resume play. Snap, plenty of time in the pocket to work with. Whoa, great job on the defense.
That was nearly picked off by number 89 for North Carolina. And number 89, that is Zion Booker out of Charlotte.
Great coverage on that pass attempt. You can see it again here on the replay. And a good job of nearly coming away with a big INT. 4th down. South Carolina going to try. Here's a big pass attempt over the middle of the field. And now with the turnover on downs, North Carolina offensive unit will come back out. And the ball will be placed at the 33-yard line. And we have 8:12 to go in our opening quarter. Playing 12-minute quarters here at the 8th grade level, as we have at the 6th and the 7th grade as well. 5th graders this morning played 10-minute quarters. Hesitancy here, and that is not a good thing for the quarterback as he goes down back at the 27. And the ball has come loose, and South Carolina comes away with it. A turnover as well.
Just a huge, huge play by the South Carolina defense, and a pump fake from the quarterback there, and he tried to throw the ball, but he was only holding onto it with one hand.
Possession goes to South Carolina.
So just like that, the South Carolina offense comes back out onto the field. It's 1st and 10 at the North Carolina 27.
And it should be noted we have a new quarterback in there for South Carolina, number 14. That is Davis out of Fort Mill.
Here's his handoff. His running back comes to the near side of the field looking to turn the corner and picks up positive yardage up to the 20.
Logan Coldren took the handoff.
Now on 3rd down, looks like they've got about 3 to go. 3rd and 3, and over on that left side, did not get there. He stopped right at the 20.
At the 20-yard line.
So once again, they are going to be facing a 4th down situation. And they need about 3 more yards to pick up the 1st down.
And that one light on the left side over there has been going on and off.
It's kind of the strobe effect.
Yeah.
And picking up the 1st down and keeping the drive alive up near the 10-yard line.
That is number 5 for South Carolina, and that is number 5 is Logan Coldren.
Coldren does a good job of that run. Keeps the drive alive, and now it is 1st and 10 at the 11. They can still pick up a 1st down without having to score. Whoa, big hit. And brought down for a loss back at the 13-yard line.
Excellent job by number 50 of the North Carolina defense out there. That's Pierce Johnston out of Apex, North Carolina. Number 9 coming in for South Carolina to relieve number 5. Number 9 is Anson or A.J. Gathers out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
2nd and 12. See the lone back there standing to the right of the quarterback, but he's going to go the opposite direction, connects with his target over there on the left side of the field. But he is tackled rather quickly after the reception up at the 10-yard line.
That was number 8 on the reception for South Carolina. That is Raheem Jeter out of Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Notice how the defense, though, they are right there. He does not pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. And this is now 3rd and 9 at the 10-yard line. Quarterback, pass caught. And now cutting back in toward the middle of the field. Looks like he has made it up to the 5 and then is pushed backwards. But guess what? They're 5 yards away from the end zone. They are 4 yards away from a first down, and it is now 4th down.
They've done a good job of combating the penetration from the North Carolina defense with quick passes. And what we're seeing out of these quarterbacks at the 8th grade level is they have arms that can consistently zip the ball in there and very accurately too.
This will be an interesting play call coming in from the coaches. I think they may take a timeout, and it looks like they will, to talk about and think about it. So with 5:05 to go
South Carolina. That's their
in the
first
opening
timeout.
quarter of play, we are scoreless between North Carolina and South Carolina. South Carolina facing 4th and 4 at the 5-yard line. This is the Carolina Bowl. Here we go. It is 4th and 4. The ball is on the 5-yard line. What will South Carolina do? And whistles blow at the snap. Penalty flag comes in.
False start.
Illegal
on the offense.
procedure, a false
5-yard
start
penalty.
on the part of
Be
South
4th down.
Carolina. That hurts as they move the ball back out to the 10. So now it is 4th and 9, and the ball is on the 10-yard line. Could change the play entirely.
Very well. I mean, I think it kind of has to. I mean, you're just in a completely different situation now.
And quickly trying to fire a pass, but whistles blow again. And let's see what the infringement is this time.
False start on the offense.
no.
5-yard
Come
penalty.
back him up another
Be 4th
5
down.
yards, bring it out to the 15.
They're just digging themselves into a deeper and deeper hole here.
4th and 14 with the ball on the 15.
They will have number 6 coming back in at quarterback alongside. Well, he's actually going to be the holder for the kicker. They're going to attempt a kick.
This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt. Wow. Okay, first field goal attempt that we have had all day long. And it
Is no good.
no good.
It went off to the side, and it didn't really have a chance of getting in there. They did not allow him to rush the kick.
No. So it's basically a free kick in a way.
And you see, though, why, even with the 8th graders being, the strongest of the ones here, a 30-yard kick is a problem for quite a few varsity high school kickers.
Yes, it is not an automatic by any means. So, but I give credit to the attempt there. And I think being pushed back to the 15-yard line, it was like, okay, this 4th and 14, or we could try for the kick. Maybe we get 3 points. And, well, if not, North Carolina gets the ball back on their own 20, and that's what has happened. So we remain scoreless with 4:53 to go in the opening quarter. Once again, whistles before the snap.
Illegal substitution on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Illegal substitution on the part of South Carolina. That advances the ball 5 yards up to the 25. Make it 1st and 5 for North Carolina.
First down and 5.
And that quarterback for North Carolina is number 14, a snap to the running back.
And look
And
how
my
quickly
goodness,
the
the
defenders
flags.
are in there, and the penalty flags come swarming in.
This may end up being the most penalized game out of all 4.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
The first personal foul face mask of the night.
15 yards with the personal foul. I know in the games we covered this year in high school varsity football, we saw that call quite a few times.
Number 14 at quarterback for North Carolina is Justin Wheeler out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
And Wheeler has his team 1st and 10 at the 39. Whoa! Whoa, those defenders came in there like lightning fast.
Yeah, that's something that you would expect to see a little bit less of now that you've gotten to the 8th grade level, but they've had some real trouble handling the snap. But hey, the thing about North Carolina, it held true in the last game. This game, it holds true even more. They have about 6 quarterbacks on the roster, so.
2nd and 16, about 6 yards lost on that play. Whoa, nice catch over there on the far side of the field. And now still on his feet, forward progress should take him across the 40 before he is driven backwards. I think they will give him the 42.
That was a quick screen pass out to Zacobian Morrison out of Lenoir, North Carolina, number 1. And he did a good job. That was a very well-designed play. The rush was right in his face, and then it was just a quick screen. And both teams have done a pretty good job. They may get hit a couple of times, but then they'll adjust to it pretty well with a screen pass like that.
Good to see a player visiting Durham from Caldwell County this week. And now, once again, whistles prior to the snap.
Now, will it be a false start or will it be encroachment? Or no, they say
Timeout.
timeout call.
It's timeout.
North Carolina.
So with
has their first charge
3:17 to
timeout.
go in the opening quarter, we remain scoreless between North and South Carolina here at the Carolina Bowl.
Your attention, please. T.J. Savage. Please report to section 14 on the concourse level. Thank you. Thank you.
Ready to resume action here in the Carolina Bowl at Wallace Wade Stadium at Duke University. Our 8th graders, 3:17 to go, opening quarter. It is 3rd and 7 for North Carolina at their 42-yard line. Spreading out the offense a bit. Oh, there's a mix-up on the handoff, and it looks like South Carolina may have recovered. They have. Turnover, and South Carolina
They tried the exact same play they did a couple of plays ago where the quarterback lines up directly behind, but then the center snaps to the running back beside him. That time the running back just lost control of the ball and defense recovers.
South Carolina's offense back out onto the field. Great field position to start this drive. 1st and 10 at the North Carolina 37.
You know, this game, the way it's starting out, is actually going a lot like the 5th graders game did, except with bigger, stronger guys.
Showing us a lot of defensive pressure here in the early going. And look at the pursuit here on the running back.
Oh,
whoa,
my
he
goodness.
is thrown out of bounds like the WWE.
Number 20 for the North Carolina
Holding.
defense.
Number 79.
Aaron
offense.
Foster Jr.
10-yard
out of
penalty.
Wendell, North Carolina, with that wrestling slam that time.
And we do have the penalty flag. Yeah, that was like smack down.
Well, there was a flag before, and then I'm assuming they're probably going to throw another one for that.
Okay, officials trying to sort this all out. Penalty yardage being marked off against South Carolina.
I didn't see exactly what they said the penalty was, but I do know that they threw the penalty well in advance of that throw, which now that when you see it on instant replay, it doesn't look quite as bad as it initially did.
It had some dramatic flair to it. Ball is spotted at the 47. Wow,
Another
speed
flag.
here. Look at this back taken off to the far side of the field.
But yet another flag on the play.
Well, I think we already have more flags here in the 8th grade contest than what we had total in the previous 3 games.
Which is not what you expect. Well, you expect the 8th graders to be the most disciplined group of all 4, but I mean, they do move faster, and you know, sometimes they try to, they're a little bit more savvy about how they try to play things, but they're not quite savvy enough. And that's what happens with those penalties.
Maybe our officials calling this one a bit closer, too.
Well, they know that these kids hit harder, they know they run faster, and they know there's a potential for more injuries when these kids are
On the
playing as
offense,
opposed
5-yard penalty.
to the other
Repeat
kids.
first
So
down.
they are officiating this game pretty tight.
5-yard penalty, the illegal shift called against South Carolina, now pushes them back to their side of the field. And that first down marker is all the way up at the North Carolina 27-yard line. Long way to go. Here's a big pass attempt over the outstretched arms, incomplete but close.
He was looking for number 3 on that one. That was Jack Weil out of Mount Pleasant for South Carolina. And good throw, but it just went through the fingertips. Good diving effort by Weil there. Number 14, Davis, still in at quarterback for South Carolina.
Now it's 2nd down and 25.
Yep, 2nd down and 25. It's a long way to go.
That would have been a highlight reel catch if he'd have held on to that one.
Oh, that would have been beautiful. Here again, short little pass attempt. It's picked off. North Carolina picks it off. It's a big INT. And they return it to the South Carolina 38. And that's going to fire up this North Carolina team.
And guess who it was on the interception? Number 4. That is Anthony Smith out of Forest City, North Carolina.
Smith coming away with big defensive play. Now let's see if the North Carolina offense can move this ball.
They have a new quarterback in there now.
Trips to the near side. Possible pass play in the making. Quarterback decides to tuck it away. Takes off to the far side of the field and gets about 9 yards. Takes it up to the 29. Good run. Late penalty flag thrown.
John Mark Shaw in at quarterback on that play. And John Mark Shaw out of Sanford, North Carolina.
Pretty close to us as well.
You want to know another thing, Jay, me and you were talking about before the game. This is the first group out here where we're seeing multiple kids that are 6 feet plus. John Mark Shaw, 6'4" as an 8th grader.
Illegal participation. On the defense, 12 on the field. It's 15 yards from the end of the run.
Illegal participation, 15-yard penalty.
illegal participation. That's another one that I'm not very familiar with.
Don't come by that very often, and it pushes the ball all the way up to the 15-yard line.
John Mark Shaw will stay in at quarterback, flanked by number 2 at running back. That is Micah Sumter.
Here's the snap. Here's this handoff. Running from right to left, turning the corner, inside the 10, inside the 5. Penalty flags fly as he's tackled up at the 3.
And more flags, as you said, more flags flying. That was a handoff to number 1, it looks like. That's Zacobian Morrison,
Holding
I believe.
on the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Holding against North Carolina. That is going to be 10 yards.
I think these refs are being a lot more brutal on these 8th graders than most refs are on varsity high schoolers.
They are calling this game really, really tight.
And I think the main reason for that is, yes, it's a learning experience, but I would say the main reason for that is they want to prevent injuries to these kids.
Yeah, but I also think, you've got to get used to the fact that as you continue to go up through the years, some officials are going to call it very, very tight.
Oh, yes.
And we often see that at the high school and the college level, for that matter. You encounter different officiating crews, and some let you get away with more than others. So you have to be able to learn how to adapt to both styles. Ball comes back out to the 20. Shaw with a pass attempt, and it is nearly picked off over on the far side of the field.
Looking for number 2, Micah Sumter on that one. He just overthrew him.
And nearly into the hands of the South Carolina defensive man out there. Minute 23 left to go in our opening quarter. Second down coming up here for North Carolina. They need about 16 yards to get a first down. Here's a rifle pass over the middle. Incomplete.
Looking for number 3 on that one. Number 3 is Xavier Matthews out of Fayetteville, North Carolina.
I don't know, but it looked to me like there was quite a bit of speed behind that attempt.
Oh, yes. The quarterbacks for North Carolina, we haven't seen as much throwing from South Carolina, but especially the tall quarterbacks, a lot of times bigger, taller quarterbacks, they can really rifle that football just because they have a bigger body to leverage.
3rd and 16. Another rifle pass, and this one incomplete.
And part of the issue that John Mark Shaw is running into is that he's 6'4". Meanwhile, the receiver he's throwing to is 5'9".
I am still trying to wrap my head around the fact of a 6'4" 8th grader.
6'4", and they've got another QB who is 6'3".
I cannot imagine. I guess I grew up in a different era. I can't think of anybody I knew when I was in the 8th grade that was that tall. 4th down now. This is going to be a big play. Look at Shaw take off with it. Now cut back over the middle. Oh, incomplete.
And no matter how strong your arm is, unless you have world-class arm strength, throwing against your body is not going to make that throw.
No.
Even Brett Favre couldn't do that against, what was it? No, he couldn't do it against New Orleans back in the day.
Very difficult pass to make. And it will be a turnover on downs. And with 1:05 to go in the opening quarter, South Carolina's offense takes over.
In at quarterback for South Carolina now, it looks to be number 11. That is Bennett Judy out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. Quite a few Simpsonville guys on this South Carolina team.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first
Once
down.
again, a false start on the offense. That will back it up 5 to the 15. So many penalties here in the opening quarter.
That's right. We are still just a minute over the first quarter. Neither team really had a good opportunity to score outside of the one that South Carolina had.
And movement before the snap results in yet another whistle, another penalty
Dead
forthcoming.
ball, encroachment, defense.
Okay,
5
let's
yard
move it
penalty,
back 5 yards.
First down.
Encroachment against North Carolina puts the ball back out to the 20. So it's back to where we started a few minutes ago. 1st and 10 at the 20. And our quarterback handing off here, being pursued in the backfield and going to be dropped for a little bit of loss. Now surges forward at the end of the play and looks like he will pick up a couple of positive yards out of this.
Logan Coldren carries the ball for South Carolina.
Coldren on the carry. And it looked like initially he was going to be stopped for about a 2-yard loss. And instead he picks up a couple of yards.
Give some credit to Anthony Smith, number 4, on that play for really forcing him up inside and kind of contacting him first.
And off this time, bouncing off the right side. Whoa, finding a little bit of daylight here. Going to be stopped, though, at the 25 and still going to be about 5 yards short of the first down marker.
Now that looked like number 15 on the carry for South Carolina, and number 15 on their roster is Taji Mitchell out of Georgetown, South Carolina.
Out toward the coast.
Carrying the ball for South Carolina.
Clock is running out, and we have reached the end of the first quarter of play. At the end of the first quarter, we are scoreless between North and South Carolina here in the 8th graders Carolina Bowl.
Hello, and welcome to Bull City Music School, where we offer classes in piano, strings, brass and woodwinds, percussion, and voice lessons. At Bull City Music School, we're more than just music. We have a holistic approach to teaching and learning called the Modern Approach. The Modern Approach is about looking at a student's psychological, emotional, and physical development towards their creativity, individuality, and most important, their self-confidence.
Back at the Carolina Bowl. It is now 3rd and 4. Once again, whistles prior to the snap. And so we start
Encroachment on the defense. 5 yard
encroachment against South Carolina, or against North Carolina. Moves the ball ahead 5. That will result in a first down for South Carolina. The ball comes out to the 31. Just underway, second quarter. Scoreless between these two 8th grade teams. This time, handoff, trying to work his way to the far side of the field, trying to look to turn that right corner, but no. The defense stops him. They literally create their own wall, and he is dropped for about a 1-yard loss back at the 30. It's number 4 on the carry for South Carolina. Now 2nd and 11. Ooh, a little bit of a hole opens up in the middle. Quickly closes up. And after a couple of yards forward progress, he is slung backwards at the end of the play.
He took multiple big shots from the defense on that carry. I mean, he got bounced around like a pinball.
Picked up a couple of very hard-earned yards.
Third down and 8 for South Carolina.
3rd and 8. South Carolina from their 33-yard line. snap. Quarterback, pocket collapses. He takes off with it, cuts out to the far side of the field, and whoa, a hit at the end of the play as he is knocked over there at about the 37-yard line.
That was number 89 in on the tackle for North Carolina, and that is Zion Booker out of Charlotte. I'm wondering if that kid has spent any time on the wrestling team after that takedown. That was a perfectly executed double leg there.
Fourth down now for South Carolina. And looks like now they
Zion Myers down the ball. 39-yard line.
at the 39-yard line.
First and 10 for North Carolina.
North Carolina taking over. First and 10 for North Carolina. Quarterback under some pressure, runs out to the left. He's going to have to get rid of the ball, and he throws it wisely out of bounds.
We have Appler back in the game at quarterback, number 10 for North Carolina.
Intentional ground on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Oh, they're going to get him for intentional grounding.
Second down.
And the ball will be placed at the 25, a huge penalty called against North Carolina. .24 yards needed to pick up a first down. Here's a quick little pass. And, oh, so close, but incomplete up at the 40-yard line.
Pass was intended for
Michael Sumpta on the receiving end there. Man, he came so close to bringing that in for the big catch.
Third down now. Third and 24.
Ball placed back at the 25-yard line, and third and 24 for North Carolina. A lot to ask of an 8th grade team. Let's see. Here's the pass attempt, batted around, caught, cross midfield. Look at him go at the 40, up to the 30-yard line. That could have been the offensive play of the first half. An incredible grab.
Holding on the offense. 98. 10-yard penalty.
Penalty flag, holding being called against North Carolina. It is going to wipe out what was absolutely a beautifully executed pass play. And instead, the net result is going to be that North Carolina is pushed back to their own 10-yard line. Wow, that was a beautiful play, but because of the penalty, because of the holding, it's all for naught. So now we're looking at 4th and about 39 for North Carolina. And a quick little pass attempt here, and nearly picked off, incomplete. Now, that was 4th down, so should result in a turnover on down. That was 3rd and 39. Okay. So our scoreboard was off. Now it's 4th and 39. Ball still at the 10-yard line. Letting that play clock run down. We're below 5. a punt. Very short punt there.
First and 10 for South Carolina.
So South Carolina is going to take over here, 1st and 10 from their 25. I'm just kind of in shock that, I don't know, this level of play is not quite what we expected.
Well, they've been
out of
heavily
the 8th
penalized.
graders.
Heavily penalized. I think that's a big part of what this is. A lot of big plays have been negated by penalties.
And our quarterback, quick pass over to this, and right to the open arms, and he is going to go the distance all the way into the end zone for 6 points. That is number 20.
Number 20, Aaron Foster Jr. out of Wendell with the first touchdown of the night from the defense. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first defensive touchdown we've seen today.
The interception, return for the touchdown.
I don't think it was it was not an interception. It was a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
And he took it the distance to the house for 6 points. And just like that, North Carolina jumps out 6-0.
Yeah, because it was a backwards pass, that ball was live. That was a fumble.
So now North Carolina lining up for a point after kick attempt. Trying to get the correct players in. The correct players head to the sideline. Here is the kick, and it's right through the uprights. It is good. So with 8:11 to go in the second quarter, North Carolina jumps out to an early 7-0 lead.
I think they're going to say it was 6-0. I think they said he missed that kick.
So stand corrected. It did not make it through the uprights. 6-0 then our score. North Carolina out in front of South Carolina here at the Carolina Bowl. Following the touchdown from North Carolina, now the ball on the tee. We'll have the kick. South Carolina's offense probably looking forward to getting right back out there on the field and seeing if they can answer here in the second quarter of the Carolina Bowl. This one taken at the 20-yard line. That's where South Carolina's offense will set up and begin their next offensive drive of the evening.
And the way this game has been going, I'm not necessarily surprised that it was a defensive touchdown that got the first points on the board. The offenses have just not been clicking like I'm sure they want to, particularly the passing game.
See what South Carolina will do on 1st and 10 from their own 20. Quarterback takes a couple of steps back into the pocket, fires a bomb up the middle. Fields picked off again. Picked off and returned. Cutting down this near sideline at the 5 and going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 3-yard line.
That's
another interception.
Number 1, Zacobian Morrison on the pick, and that's just great play at the safety position there.
There is a penalty flag out in the middle of the field. Hold the phone 1 second.
Block in the back during the return. It'll be a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down, North Carolina.
So the penalty would just bring them back from being inside the 5, but still they will get possession of the ball with a great I think the best field position they've had in this game. I mean, it doesn't get much better than being inside your opponent's red zone to start the drive.
But it's going to be marked off from the point of the foul, so it's going to take them just outside the red zone. They're going to put the ball down at the 24, but the marker's also set from that point, so it will be 1st and 10, North Carolina at the South Carolina 24. Trying to find running room on the far side of the field. Whoa, some hits over there, and penalty flags again on the field.
That looked like number 17 on the carry for North Carolina. That is Christopher Peel out of Charlotte, and new quarterback in for North Carolina is number 12, Austin Havens out of Ashboro.
Hit holding on the offense. It'll be a 10-yard penalty. We got a dead ball, personal foul, late hit on the defense. That'll be 15 yards.
Just like that, the offense has put themselves in a not bad position.
Well, the yardage is going to have to be marked off as we have 2 penalties on this play. You've got the late hit on the defense. You've got holding on the offense.
So sort of offsetting in a way.
And it's actually going to be a bit more up to the 16-yard line.
So now they are inside the red zone.
Now the quarterback scrambling out to his right, looks for the end zone first target. Whoa! There is one for the highlight film.
That was, you can't throw a better ball than that. That was complete to number 2, Micah Sumter, for the touchdown, and another flag on the play. That would be highly unfortunate if this play were taken away by a penalty.
We don't know what this could be. Hope it's not for excessive celebration after the touchdown. Let's listen into our referee.
After the touchdown, we had a dead ball, unsportsmanlike, on the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Okay, so it was on the defense, so that play will stand, and thank goodness, because that was maybe the best play we've seen all night. It's up there for sure. That was just an absolute dart on the run from number 12, Austin Havens.
Just a very well executed pass play for the touchdown. Now North Carolina trying to go for a 2-point conversion and trying to pop it over there into the far corner of the end zone. Incomplete. But with 7:18 to go in the second quarter, North Carolina picks up one more touchdown. It is now North Carolina 12, South Carolina nothing here at the Carolina Bowl. Here at the Carolina Bowl, now that unsportsmanlike penalty charged against South Carolina being assessed here on the kick. Means the kick will be from the South Carolina 45, and they will take over at their 12-yard line. In case you're joining us and confused about why they are not allowing any kind of return on the kick, that has been the rule throughout the day for all 4 of our games. In fact, in the very first game, the 5th graders, we didn't have any kicking at all. And then for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, we do have kicks, but none of those to be returned.
Number 14 in at quarterback for South Carolina. That will be Davis.
Seven minutes to go here before halftime. 1st and 10, South Carolina. It's the first snap of this drive, and whoa, not a whole lot of running room here as a whole host of North Carolina defenders just simply converge on the back.
Number 5, Logan Coldren was that back. And, yeah, it doesn't matter how good of a running back you are. When you get swarmed like that, yeah, there's not much you can do.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for South Carolina.
That looked like number 9 for the North Carolina defense.
It's caught over on the far side of the field and then quickly slung to the turf. But he probably has enough here to be very close. But I think he's got a first down.
Just want to finish that that name drop on the last play. Number 9 for the North Carolina defense is Tyler Boyce out of Shelby, North Carolina.
It is a first down. South Carolina now 1st and 10 as they have advanced it out to their 24. And once again, a quick pass completion, this time to this side of the field and taking it ahead to the 27.
Tackle made there by number 50 for the defense. That is Pierce Johnston.
Pickup of 3, 2nd and 7. Now for the South Carolina offense. Pair of wideouts to the far side of the field. And yes, our quarterback looks for them, and it is batted incomplete.
Well, that was number 10 who he's looking for on the reception for South Carolina. Number 10 is number 10 does not appear to be on the roster for South Carolina. But I can't credit the defense on that because the receiver just dropped the ball.
3rd down coming up here. Pass caught. And looks like another first down. Just enough yardage there.
And they went right back to the same guy who just dropped that ball before. And I'm glad that they have number 18. Okay. Well, that helps me out because there is a number 18. That's Darrell DePass out of Beaufort, South Carolina.
1st and 10 for South Carolina. They moved the ball out to the 34. Whoa, ducked his way through tacklers and maybe picked up a yard. Coldren again on the carry for South Carolina.
Coldren getting a lot of work running the football as of this drive.
Second and 10. Quarterback scrambling now out to the right, fires and incomplete.
Hit on the play, it was bordering on pass interference, but he timed the hit just right to not be called for that. The ball was behind the receiver anyway, so it would have been very difficult to catch.
4:17 to go here in the second quarter. 12-0, North Carolina lead. South Carolina on this drive trying to work their way up the field. Now facing a big 3rd and 10. And quarterback under pressure, and he is going down at the 29.
That looks like number 99 in there who will get credit for the sack. Number 99 for the North Carolina defense is Michael Epps Jr. out of Lewisburg, North Carolina.
Look at this on the replay. Just a good job on the pursuit there. Brings up 4th and 14 imagine. Yes, a punt on the way. Once again, this will not be returnable. And where they touch it, that is where it will be downed. And this time around, it looks like the 41-yard line.
Just under 3.5 minutes to go. We'll see if North Carolina can add on to their lead.
That's the 41-yard line.
Number 14 for North Carolina, Justin Wheeler out of Charlotte. He is back in at quarterback for this series.
Here's the snap. Here's his pitch and working from left to right. And whoa, running into a tackler who would not give any ground. Picking up about 3 yards on that play.
Number 3 on the carry, Xavier Matthews out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Looked like he might have had some room, but the defense did a good job of closing in and really shutting it down before it burned him.
Short gain of 3 brings up 2nd and 7 now for North Carolina. Lots of targets over on the far side of the field. Looks like our quarterback goes to one of those intended targets. Oh, out of bounds, incomplete.
And a flag on the play, too, right after the ball was snapped.
It will bring up 3rd and 7, but we'll have to wait and see what the penalty flag is on the far side of the field.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat down.
5-yard penalty for the illegal shift called against North Carolina. That will back them up 5. Look at the down over. The ball moved back to the 38-yard line. Second and 12. Here's his pass attempt and incomplete.
Looking for number 7 on that reception. Number 7 is Ryken Maxwell out of Charlotte. And we've seen some of that out of this 8th grade group on South and North Carolina. Receivers just dropping routine passes.
Another big 3rd down play here with 2:16 to go before half. And whistles at the snap. Penalty flags come out. Our officials huddle up to discuss what the penalty may be.
They're out there saying, let's look through the catalog of obscure penalties that nobody's ever heard of and pull out another one.
We've had a lot of penalty flags in this game.
I did not know that it was possible to shift illegally on the defense. I will say
There's no
that.
penalty on that play.
Oh, they're going to wave this one off, so there is no penalty on the play.
I believe that's the first wave off of the night for this game.
So the ball now at the 38-yard line.
3rd and 13.
3rd and 13 it will be for North Carolina. And once again, whistles blow.
You can see the players' frustration with the constant penalties, but I mean.
Yeah.
False start. On the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Got to back him up 5 yards. Sooner or later, we are going to get off a good, clean play here.
Yeah. I will say, I am still like, I'm glad that they're calling a I'm glad that they're calling penalties when they see them, but at the same time, like, it just seems like a ridiculous amount of penalties to me.
Should be what, 3rd and 18.
Now I can understand calling that.
Yeah, once again, another penalty.
Dead ball, encroachment on a defense.
So let's move the ball
5-yard
back
penalty.
5 yards.
Still third down.
Put it back up of the 38.
I don't know if all the washing machines here on campus could handle all this dirty laundry just from this game.
5,376 penalty flags here in the first 2 quarters tonight. Wow.
Easily more than the other 3 games combined, I think we can say at this point.
I am going to cross my fingers that this time we get off a real play without a penalty flag. Uh-oh. Quarterback's in trouble, but he breaks loose, cuts back the opposite direction, and then is driven out of bounds up at the 44-yard line.
Number 14 for North Carolina, Wheeler, on that play. A couple of guys got hands on him in the pocket, but he just kind of slipped off of him, moved his shoulders a little bit, and turned it into a decent game.
Fourth down for North Carolina. They still need 7 yards. Uh-oh. Is the play clock going to? Nope. They call timeout just before the play clock runs out. And so with a minute 19 left in the second quarter and facing 4th and 7, timeout called North Carolina. They hold on to a 12-0 lead over South Carolina here at the Carolina Bowl. Ready to resume action. And now penalty flag showing that it was going to be a punt, but a couple of the South Carolina defenders came across the line.
That's right. They're not allowed to rush the punter or kicker.
And I'm not sure that they realized that it was going to be a punt.
Yeah, some of the formations out here tonight, now this one looks like a punt, but there have been some formations when it's kind of an in-between both on the return team and the kicking team or the punting team where like, they could run a punt, but they could also run a play. It just gets weird sometimes.
With this rule being added to today's games, yeah, it certainly does present some new challenges, no doubt.
Well, you got to think, too, like, there's been talk over the recent years about possibly eliminating kickoffs and punts completely from football at all levels.
Trying to determine what, we still have no indication.
Be a 5-yard penalty on the defense, rushing during the kick. Still 4th down.
So that puts them in a good position to convert this 4th down. So it still looks like they may punt
still
it,
looks
though.
like they're showing us a punt formation.
Yes,
here.
they are.
They are. So 4th and short, but in a very short punt that is going to roll out of bounds at the 36. Okay. So South Carolina will take over on offense. Now they don't have much time to work with. Only a minute to go before halftime. So that factor also probably entered into the decision of going ahead and punting rather than trying to go for it on 4th and very short.
Now, South Carolina will get the ball at the start of the second half, and for this final, most likely final possession here, they have brought in number 11 to quarterback for South Carolina. That is Bennett Judy, Simpsonville.
Here's a snap. He rolls out to his right. He's looking for a target, looking. Now fires, pass caught, and then quickly taken out of bounds. That will stop the clock.
Such a nice play, and I don't want to be a bummer, but there is some yellow laundry on the field.
Another penalty flag. It's way over on the far side of the field.
And they are, looks like they're backing up. That can be demoralizing for a team at
Illegal
any
formation.
level.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first
When
down.
you've struggled all day on offense and then you finally get a nice play going your way, but then it gets negated by a penalty. It doesn't matter if you're an 8th grader, a high schooler, a college player, or a pro. That can be demoralizing.
It's an illegal formation, 5-yard penalty. Back it up, try it again. 1st and 15. Snap, the quarterback looking, fires, quick pass, caught over here on the near side, 38-yard line. Clock stops momentarily with 26 seconds left to go before halftime.
Illegal formation. On the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Illegal
First down.
formation, 5-yard penalty.
The same penalty twice in a row on a similar formation.
And the ball pushed back to the 26-yard line. Now we're looking at 1st and 20 with 20 seconds to go before halftime. Could be the last play before halftime. Quarterback scramble, fires, a little round, and
He came up with that football.
whoa, what a catch here. Calderon comes down with it. Wow, let's look at this replay because this is going to be great. How he came out with the football, I have no idea here.
It looks like he got one hand in there and just kind of wrestled it away.
South Carolina, please put 8
That
seconds
was
on the game
absolutely
clock.
beautiful.
It reminds me of an old play from the early 2000s Chicago Bears where Charles Tillman ripped a ball out of Randy Moss's hands. That's what that reminds me of.
That was an amazing grab. And timeout is taken to stop the clock. It looks like they have now put 8 seconds up on the scoreboard. Initially it said 2 seconds, but evidently they had to add a couple of seconds back in there. So with 8 seconds to go, timeout taken to stop that clock. With 8 seconds, this next play will probably be the last play before halftime. It is a 12-0 North Carolina lead. But South Carolina still trying to make something happen.
Bennett Judy will remain in at quarterback, and we'll see if they decide to take a shot here. That's the defense is certainly expecting it.
Here's the snap. Little steps. He takes off to the far side of the field. He's looking, trying to direct traffic. Now he is going to be driven out of bounds at the 41-yard line, and time has run out. And we have played the first 2 quarters of football here in the game featuring the 8th graders. At the end of the first half, it's North Carolina 12, South Carolina nothing. Stay tuned now as we head to the playing field and Chad Ricardo.
Coach, 12-0 here at halftime of the Carolina Bowl. One score on offense, one score on defense. What are you happy with your program thus far?
The effort. I love the effort. Both teams are playing hard, playing fast. A lot of mistakes on both sides, but 3 days to get this thing ready. I'm happy with their effort.
And I know that this is an all-star game, but we still want to be competitive. When you go into halftime, what adjustments are you going to look to make coming up?
Just calm down, play ball. I think that'll be the way both sides. So, looking forward to the second half.
Thank you very much, Coach. Halftime, Carolina Bowl 2019.
Hello, and welcome to Bull City Music School, where we offer classes in piano, strings, brass and woodwinds, percussion, and voice lessons. At Bull City Music School, we're more than just music. We have a holistic approach to teaching and learning called the modern approach. The modern approach is about looking at a student's psychological, emotional, and physical development towards their creativity, individuality, and most important, their self-confidence.
At Sloan Construction, our greatest strength is in our most valuable asset, our people. With competitive salaries and a wide range of benefits, Sloan Construction is looking to expand its highly capable, innovative, and diverse workforce. Healthcare, 401k, bonuses, and paid holidays are just some of the benefits of joining the Sloan Construction team. Come join our team today and help build the infrastructure of tomorrow.
Call Sloan Construction today.
Sean committed to Auburn on February 5th of 2010, and his diagnosis came on March 27th. The first moment that I heard leukemia, I knew that I was going to have to tell my son, who had his whole future ahead of him, that this was very serious and it could possibly threaten his life. Football was the furthest thing from my mind. On day one at St. Jude, Sean looked at myself and his stepdad and basically said, what are you guys upset for? I'm gonna beat this thing. He was able to get through the chemotherapy, move on to gain a starting position at left tackle for Auburn. Seeing him going through the rigors of chemotherapy on a weekly basis for 2.5 years, it was really difficult to watch him battle through that. We went into the situation pretty blindly to have no one. It was a little bit difficult. When I read Nick's story in our local paper, I wanted to ensure that Sean and I were there and that resource for the family as they endured their battle.
We were going for a checkup because my mom thought I had anemia or something like that. And they pricked my finger, and then they came back in, and they just said that we're gonna get in the car, we gotta go somewhere. We was driving, I kind of felt the vehicle stop, and I woke up and we was at the gates of St. Jude.
To hear that my son had cancer, and here it is, he was just considered as one of the top 25 players in the country, was shocking to me.
Basketball was nothing on my mind at that point. It was just, get me better first.
Let me just take a look at you. The most common type of leukemia we see in children is acute lymphoblastic leukemia. When the patients first walk in the door, they're often obviously very afraid and not really sure of what they're going to hear. The families want to know not only what's going on, but is there hope to be cured?
It just kind of all comes together when you finally get the word, your child has cancer.
Something clicked in my heart. I know what it's like to have to work and get your child back to where he expects himself to be.
Some days are better than others, and we just had a couple days that weren't so good. That relationship has been, a true godsend. To have someone that I could call and say, hey, today is not a good day. It's really, really and truly a blessing to have that person.
Me and son, it's like a little brother, big brother type thing. Everything that I'm going through, he's already gone through. So when we talk about it, it's like I'm looking in the mirror.
What's up, bro? How the family doing?
They doing good.
I'm glad to see you, man. Like you doing good, man. You got the hot top, man. You see I got mine in here too. Try to be as active as you can, man. Try to move around if you can a little bit. I know you had the surgery and everything. How's it coming though? Is it like everything healing up?
Yes. The date was April 26th of 2016. Sean had the ability to go to Chicago with all of the other draftees, but he wanted to celebrate his accomplishment with the St. Jude organizations and the children
With
here.
the 76th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Sean Coleman, tackle, Auburn.
Sean is going on to do what he loves to do. It just, you know, give me a second, I'm sorry. We got home, and of course, Nicholas said, well, I can't wait until my day when I'm sharing my story and I'm able to have my draft party at St. Jude. Yeah. That's the dream, you know. We're all dreaming the dream with him.
I expect Nick to have the very same end result as Sean. You can move past the diagnosis and move on with your life.
When I do physical therapy, I think of people who've done it before me, like Sean, who's already overcome it, which means it can be done.
I'm gonna be proud to see him out there because I know how hard he had to work to get there. I know about all the bad days he had and how he persevered through them.
I was 14 when I got diagnosed, so been here for 2 years. It's kind of helped shape who I'm gonna be the rest of my life. So.
I love when families are able to come here and I can tell them they don't have to worry about paying for their care. They've got enough to worry about taking care of their sick child. Every single person that contributes is a part of that St. Jude family that makes that happen. Because of donors, we're giving families hope.
Welcome back to the Carolina Bowl, where the best become elite. We're ready to begin our third quarter of play here at Wallace Wade Stadium, Duke University, and this kick will be taken by North Carolina down at the 29-yard line.
And speaking of things, we've had Mr. Freddie Brown in here. He has been a tremendous help to us in figuring out exactly what numbers are where, getting our information corrected. And let me say, the mystery QB that started out the game for South Carolina, he was number 6. That was Raheem Jeter out of Spartanburg. That was the quarterback, number 6. And number 8 is Casey Fields out of St. Helena Island, South Carolina.
It will be 1st and 10 for North Carolina as they move left to right here in the third quarter of play. They have the 12-0 lead. Quarterback takes a couple of steps back, now fires right on midfield. It's beautiful, picked off. Another interception. And taking it all the way to the far side into the end zone for the touchdown.
And the funny thing is, that's number 8, Casey Fields. He made a play after I got his name right.
Fields, a beautiful pick that he takes in for the 6 points. And just like that, South Carolina is on the scoreboard.
Man, you could argue, I know that the offense scored some points for North Carolina, but you could argue all the points today have been a result of the play of the defense.
That was amazing by Fields. That is one that he should remember forever and ever.
And this game is kind of going the reverse of the way that the last game went, where North Carolina got a big, play kind of late. This time it's South Carolina.
And the extra point kick is good. So, very first offensive play results in an interception. Fields takes it the distance in for the return on the touchdown. 11:46 to go here in the third quarter. And it is 12-7. North Carolina trying to hold on to a 5-point lead over South Carolina. You're listening to the Carolina Bowl, and we'd like to thank our sponsors who make this broadcast possible. Our thanks to Panagakis Asphalt Paving, located out of Greenbelt, South Carolina. Also, our thanks to Shaw Construction, with corporate headquarters in Duncan, South Carolina. Our thanks to the Zenith Helmet Manufacturing Company. Also to NCSA, the Next College Student Athlete. Our thanks to our host school and great hospitality this week from Duke University. And of course, we always like to mention a fundraising event for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital here at the Carolina Bowl. Now the kick, and it looks like he touched that right around the 35-yard line. And our line judge confirms that, so play will resume there at 35 as North Carolina's offensive unit, after a big shock, now will come back out onto the field, 1st and 10.
And adding to the confusion over the roster, there are 2 number 3s for South Carolina as well as 2 number 1s. The number 3 that just kicked that ball is Jack Weil. The other number 3 is Jalen Neal out of Simpsonville.
And now taking it to the far side, trying to turn that left corner and picking up at least 4 yards. Good carry.
And then with the number 1s, we have Jalen Ingram and Bryce Foster. Both of them wear number 1. Ingram from Summerville, South Carolina. Foster from Greer, South Carolina. And 2 more names. Gabe White is number 4, or one of the number 4s, along with Reese Markham. And then number 40, who has made a couple of plays for South Carolina, that is Caleb Cooper.
2nd and 6 here for North Carolina. Quarterback has some time now. He's going to have to scamper. He's got some running room. 45, up across the 50, and finally going to be chased down and taken out of bounds, but not until he's on the South Carolina side of the field And taken out of bounds at the 47. First down, North Carolina.
That was number 10, Aliam Appler out of Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. And there is one name on the North Carolina roster to conclude the corrections. Number 65 is Nick Sampson out of New Bern, North Carolina.
Now on 1st and 10, on the right side, turning, picking up additional yardage, up to the 38 on the carry.
That is number 8 on the carry for the North Carolina squad. And that number 8 is Isaiah Roberson out of Chapel Hill.
And it is going to leave him, now they say it is enough for the first down. Here's the snap on 1st and 10. This time, being chased and falls forward at the end of the play, picking up a little bit of extra yardage there. Up to the 34. Yeah, what folks don't realize, we apologize for any mistaken names or numbers that we didn't have a name for. We'll tell you momentarily how that happens here at the Carolina Bowl. Ooh, a little bit of problem handling the snap. And now he is going to lob this one up, and somehow it is caught. Wow, what a grab there. Although it's right back at the line of scrimmage at the 34.
That was a great catch by Isaiah Roberson, going up and getting that ball. That's what you want out of a good possession wide receiver. He just stretched up to get that football.
He kept focused on that, and he bailed his quarterback out big time. 3rd and 7 for North Carolina. Time around. Quick little pass. It's complete over here on the near side. Now trying to cut back in toward the middle of the field and taking it up to the 27. And we'll have to see about the spot here.
That was number 2, Micah Sumter, on the reception. And I don't know if you heard that or not, Jay, but that was an absolute missile. You could hear the ball make a thud going into the receiver's hands. That hurts. That hurts catching footballs like that, especially if it gets a little bit chillier.
Has cooled off a bit with temperatures now right around 48 on this Saturday night. 4th down. Just 1 yard to go for the first down. Uh-oh, look out, in trouble here. Now trying to cut back in, and no. Defense is going to stop him back at the 30-yard line, and it is going to be a turnover on downs.
We have
South Carolina to take over.
We have a South Carolina player down on the ground, kind of writhing a little bit. I can't tell what number he is.
No, in fact, his number is completely blocked from our viewpoint. Trainer's taking a look at him right now. Now, the reason to announce the confusion about the names and the numbers, here's what some of the kids do. And you really can't fault them for this, or you can't really get too mad at them about this. But a lot of these players, when they come to the Carolina Bowl, they like to trade. And especially a common trade that a lot of the players like to make is to try to trade for a lower number. So there is a lot of trading that goes on during these few days here in Durham. And sometimes players show up here at the game with a different number than what they have been put down as on the roster.
And
so
that's exactly how you end up with 2 number 1s, 2 number 3s, and 2 number 4s on the South Carolina roster.
Now, if you want to make things more complicated, here's what evidently has happened this year.
That was number 21 who was down. He is walking off the field now for South Carolina. Number 21, one of the new numbers we got, that is Timothy Castaigne out of Somerville, South Carolina.
To make things more complicated this year, it turns out that the 8th graders got together with some of the 7th graders, and then they traded numbers between the different classifications. That resulted in some confusion on the rosters that we had for tonight's 8th grade game. Once again, our apologies for any mistakes on numbers, names. We're trying our best to accommodate.
It looks like we will have The mystery QB from the first quarter, number 6, not a mystery anymore, Raheem Jeter out of Spartanburg.
He'll start this drive from his 30 or 29-yard line and fires a quick pass. It's caught. And short yardage gain, but a good reception there.
And we talk about the increased size with a lot of these 8th graders here. I mean, this is good size for JV and even varsity. Raheem Jeter is listed at 6'2", 201 pounds as an 8th grader. And you can tell he kind of towers over a lot of his compadres down there.
That last play incomplete, so it comes back to the 29. I'm amazed at some of the height of some of these 8th graders.
There is one kid out there who is 6'4", the quarterback John Mark Shaw.
Second down and 10. And this time round pass is caught over here on the near side.
That's number 40, Caleb Cooper on the reception.
And Cooper picks up 6 yards, takes it up to the 35-yard line. So going to bring up a 3rd and short. 3rd and 4. First down marker up at the 39-yard line. Now evidently a change of plays. Coach trying to get it in from the sideline. His quarterback trying to communicate the change to all of his players. Here's the snap. And quarterback keeps it. Oh, these defenders not full. Now there's a pile up. Could be that the ball broke loose.
One of the North Carolina defenders hit him right on the arm where the football was, and they knocked the ball out, and I believe North Carolina recovered it.
They have, and they will take over. 1st and 10, looks like at the 33.
And, that's another thing that we've seen a couple of times, younger kids, when they're dominating at the peewee level or the middle school level, sometimes they can get away with not securing that football as much. But once you get up to playing the best of your peers and you get up to the high school level and above, you will fumble the ball a lot if you make a habit of that.
The ball is spotted on the 34. North Carolina takes over there. 1st and 10. They send trips to the near side this time. 3 wideouts, all eligible. Here's a pass. A Zinger over the middle and a great catch up at the 20.
Number 12 for North Carolina, and at quarterback, that's Austin Havens. And completed the pass to number 2 that time, Micah Sumter. He called his name quite a lot in this half.
Let's look at Sumter's catch here. This is great. Lowers his head then and takes it to the 19-yard line. Great play. Oh, looking toward the end zone. Has a man there. Tripped up. No flags.
Just slightly high right through the fingertips of, it looks like, number 3 for North Carolina. Yes, number 3. That is Xavier Matthews.
Well, look, there were 2 defenders really close.
Number 3 on number 3, and that 3 for South Carolina that made the defensive play, that is Jalen Neal. One of 2 threes on this South Carolina roster, as we've mentioned.
2nd and 10 now for North Carolina. The ball comes back out to the 19. And this time the handoff coming to the near side, turning that right corner. And then the swarm of defenders moves in. Looks like he has advanced it to the 12.
That's number 21 on the carry for North Carolina. Number 21 is Zion Myers out of Wake Forest. I believe that's the first time we've called his name tonight.
It's going to leave him about 3 yards short of picking up first down, so 3rd and 3. The trips head to the left side, to the far side of the field. But the pass is going to come up. Oh, so close, but incomplete.
Right through the hands of number 2, Micah Sumter, and also number 3, Jalen Neal in coverage there. Even if the receiver was able to make that play, I think that Neal is in good position to tackle him well ahead of the sticks.
Well, it's decision time because now you're looking at 4th and 3. Ball is at the 12-yard line.
I would go for it and try to, you know, if not, well, I would try to extend the lead if I was North Carolina because it's only a 5-point difference here.
They will take time out to assess the situation.
North Carolina. That's a
5:42 to go in the third quarter. Our score, North Carolina 12, South Carolina 7. 8th graders, the Carolina Bowl.
The mission of the Carolina Bowl organization is to empower student athletes to achieve academic excellence, provide life skill development opportunities, and create an environment of athletic greatness by using sports as our fundamental motivational platform to help us. Fourth and 3.
Here we go. 4th and 3 for North Carolina from the 12-yard line. Uh-oh, look out. There is all kinds of congestion in the offensive backfield, and he is dropped back at the 15-yard line, and that is going to result in a turnover on downs.
Number 9 on the carry for North Carolina. That's Tyler Boyce out of Shelby. Normally taking a lot of his snaps on the defensive line, but getting him some time at running back there.
South Carolina's offensive unit back out onto the field, trailing by 5 points. They will start this drive from their own 15-yard line.
And it's not like, you know, they were still in the third quarter with a good amount of time left, so they don't need to rush or hurry anything here.
Looks to me like the play clock had run out.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Delay of game. That will back them up to the 10-yard line. We did find out, too, during one of our breaks, we commented about how tight the officials are calling this game and how many penalties we've had. Turns out there's a good reason for that, too. And now on the handoff, a short 3-yard pickup. Mitchell on the carry. Now, we found out that actually the Carolina Bowl officials have asked our referee, our officiating crew, to call this game tight because this is the last chance for many of these 8th graders before they enter high school football next year.
That's true. That makes a lot of sense.
On second down, quarterback is scrambling. He's heading out to the far side of the field. No, arm tackle's not going to do it. Finally chased out of bounds over there at about the 20.
And that is number 14 for South Carolina, who we had just been calling Davis. That is his last name. His name is Jaden Davis out of Fort Mill, South Carolina.
Does a good job here. Notice how as he comes out here, you try to grab him by the arm. No, that's not going to work. He breaks loose from that and then picks up a little bit additional yardage. Third down here now. Rolling out to the far side, pass attempted, and nope, incomplete.
The main reason that he gave behind, you know, them encouraging the officials to call it so tight is that these players, when they're younger, they let them get away with a lot of things that they would be penalized for at higher levels. And if you go into a higher level of football, even if you're a very talented player, if you always get penalties when you're out on the field, you're not going to get playing time. And that's a smart move by these coaches.
Well, at a young age, you can pick up bad habits. And if you're not told or corrected, that's not a good thing. And here's the punt. And it looks like it will be down at the 46.
Yeah.
I remember I had
Illegal
a coach
formation
that at the time
on the
I thought he
offense.
was really, really mean, really, really tough. Years later, I really appreciated what he had to say. And that was, he said he hated the slogan that practice makes perfect. He said practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. And if you practice it wrong, if you learn it wrong, you are going to do it wrong.
That's a very interesting and I would say pretty good way to look at it. A better way to say it would not be a saying that I heard from my old wrestling coach was, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty clever, too. 1st and 10 now for North Carolina, starting this drive on the 40. Ooh, quick pitch here. And taking off to the far side of the field, turning the left corner. And great speed.
Number 88 for North Carolina on that pitch. And that is Matthew Del Hiro out of Clemens, North Carolina, not too far from here.
He picks up 9 yards on that run.
He looks like a young Darren Sproles out there with those moves and the suddenness of his running.
He had good speed built up before he even got the football from the quarterback. Very short now, 2nd and 1. And here we go the opposite direction, but great defensive effort there.
Way to blow up that play by number 38 of the South Carolina defense. That is William Roper out of Duncan, South Carolina.
Major, he did not give up. He went in low, but he stuck with it, and it paid off.
He shot through there so quickly that the runner carrying the ball, he had to react, and there was just no time for him to do anything.
Loss of yardage back to the 44. 3rd down, long ways to go. About 3rd and 15 here. Uh-oh, quarterback's in trouble. Gonna be dropped way back at the 48, 49-yard line. Wow, 2 big defensive stops by South Carolina. And they have moved North Carolina back considerably now to midfield. It is 4th and 20. And obviously here, they will punt the football away. Here's the punt. This one takes a good bounce. And it is going to be down at the 24-yard line.
You see the returners back there really hustling to try to get that ball. And if you're confused about why they are trying so hard to get it, it's because as soon as they touch the ball, it's a dead ball. That's where it will be spotted. And if you let it roll too far back, that hurts your offense. And they know if it lands in front of me, I'm okay. But if it starts rolling to my side, I need to try to get to it.
Well, and we've been relatively lucky today as far as bounces, but you never know when it may hit and then take like a 10, 15-yard roll against you. You wouldn't want to let that get away.
And when you don't have to be concerned about muffing the ball or fumbling it, why not go all out?
Yeah, just so you can touch it and so to be ruled dead at that point. Timeout taken here with 1:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. North Carolina still holding on to a 12-7 lead over South Carolina, featuring the 8th graders in our 4th and final game of this Saturday here in Durham at Wallace Wade Stadium at Duke University, Brooks Field, and we have seen a lot of good football action here today. Realistically, I feel like we have seen 2 or 4 totally different games in a lot of ways. Certainly the 5th graders this morning gave us a real defensive battle. Then we saw a real offensive contest with the 6th graders. We saw a very competitive game with the 7th, and now a very competitive game here with the 8th graders. Look at the run here as he takes off on the far side. He's down the end line. He is going to go all the way down the sideline, in for the score. That was huge.
That was number 8 on that carry, and they've been going to him a lot tonight. for South Carolina. Number 8 is Casey Fields out of St. Helena Island, and it was only a matter of time before he really broke one loose.
What a run.
Once he was out of there and nobody was around him, there was no prayer of catching him.
That was absolutely amazing. Here we get to see it on the replay. Look at this as he does a great job staying in bounds.
Once he got past number 21, it was goodbye.
And look at the speed. He did not slow down until he got to the end zone. Great run there. Great touchdown by Fields. One of our players is down back at about the 32-yard line.
Looks like a North Carolina player.
And trainers are out currently to take a look at that player. With that touchdown, though, at least temporarily, South Carolina now with a 1-point, 13-12 lead over North Carolina. Now, the fans have gotten very, very disturbingly quiet here. And I notice a lot of our players have taken a knee. But now, the young man being helped up, and it looks like he is going to, with some help, come to the sideline. So this is great to see. Wow, from the reaction to begin with, it looked like it could have been a very, very serious injury.
I don't know. I think it may be the most serious one that we've seen tonight, though, because there's no way he's getting off that field under his own power, and his head's kind of drooping to the side. That is number, God, I can't really tell who that number is. 15? 15.
Kind of looks like a 15, I think.
15 for North Carolina is, oh man, I had it just a second ago. Number 15 for North Carolina is,
he is immediately going to come over to the bench and take a seat there.
15
and now,
is.
Action resumes as they go for a 2-point conversion. They're going to get it. Wow. Another beautifully executed play by South Carolina to pick up the 2.
Number 15 was Assad Brown from New Bern, North Carolina.
Oh, let's look at the replay on this 2-point conversion by South Carolina, because this, again, beautifully executed. And it gives South Carolina a 3-point, 15-12 lead now over North Carolina with 68 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
And I believe they're the first team of the night, too, that actually was trailing and has overtaken the lead.
They are. First team that has come from behind in our games today.
And we still have a
here it is.
Quarter.
Look at this 2-point conversion. That is just beautiful.
That was to Coldren out there for South Carolina. And it's just very well done. Just enough space to get in there.
You cannot draw it up any better than that. That was just textbook.
No, got more of the tee that time than he did of the actual football.
Yes, and I think they say if this ball is touched, it will be ruled dead at the 40. So North Carolina with decent field position, they will take over.
And they've got a full quarter plus a minute to work with. So this game's still a little ways to go.
Oh, yeah. This is nowhere near over. And this one could come down to the fourth and final quarter.
So far, living up to the hype of being the most competitive and most exciting game of the 4.
1st and 10, North Carolina. Trips to the far side. Oh, whistles blow at the snap. Play is dead.
John Mark Shaw in at quarterback.
Encroachment on a defense. 5-yard
encroachment on South Carolina. That will give North Carolina 5 yards. Move the ball up to the 45. It'll be 1st and 5. Clock now running, just below 1 minute to go in quarter number 3. Look at the hand. Look at the big opening here over on the left side. And across midfield for the first down, plus a yard or 2.
Number 1 is Zacobian Morrison on the carry there.
Did a good job on that run, and it results in another North Carolina first down. Ball is spotted at the 48 of South Carolina. Now let's try the opposite direction. Oh, breaks loose from one tackler. Heads back the opposite direction. He is still moving. And I think with the forward progress, he is going to be put up at about the 45. Late penalty flag is thrown.
Did you see the block thrown by the quarterback, Shaw?
Yes.
Without that block, I don't think he would have been sprung for that much of a gain.
Let's wait for the penalty here, and then we'll look at the replay on this.
Face mask on the defense, number 22, 5-yard penalty. It's added to the end of the run.
Okay, it's a 5-yard face mask call against South Carolina. That will be tacked on to the end of the play.
And we've got just over 20 seconds left in this third quarter before the final fourth quarter.
And they start the clock.
Maybe going to get one more playoff in this quarter.
Second and very short here. There's a handoff. Has the first down yardage. Still on his feet. And is going to be thrown backwards at the end of the play. But with the forward progress, he is up to the 35. And that will be a first down.
Oh, and they throw. Oh, yes, that's. Yeah, they're going to throw a flag on that play. That's probably the most blatant, excessive celebration we've seen all night after a big play. Which the young man made a good play, but when you're over there looking at the other sideline and
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, 15-yard penalty, still be a first down.
I mean, we were doing the, the eating, motion there, right at the other sideline. You're gonna get flagged for that at pretty much every level.
The taunting after.
The end of the
That's the first time we've really seen that tonight, though.
We did have an excessive celebration in one of our earlier games.
But it doesn't surprise me that it's the 8th graders that we're seeing it out of, though, because I mean they're a little bit older, a little bit more, a lot of them are starting to get a little bit more testosterone in the body and stuff like that. A little bit more chippiness.
Yeah, chippiness. Yeah. We have played 3 quarters of football here, featuring the 8th graders in the Carolina Bowl. At the end of the third, South Carolina now with a 15-12 lead over North Carolina. This is the Carolina Bowl. Welcome back to the fourth quarter here in the Carolina Bowl. South Carolina with a 3-point lead. Now the handoff here. And taking it up the field to the 46. North Carolina running from right to left here in the final quarter of play. And a pickup of several yards. Myers on the carry, and now makes it 2nd and about 6.
And I think the crowd for this game has been livelier than it's been all day, too. We can certainly hear what I'm assuming are moms out there.
We hear a lot of screaming from the opposite side of the stadium. And now, could have been a late hit there.
Good job by number 21 of North Carolina. That is Zion Myers. Of protecting the football and bouncing off the first hit, but then he got pile-driven out of bounds by number 15 of South Carolina. That is Taji Mitchell out of Georgetown.
Very short yardage gained here, but this is a doable third and about 3. Trying to get the play in from the sideline. Trying to get everybody set. Here's the snap. Quarterback fires right over the middle. It's caught. And great catch. And finally, a very late penalty flag comes in there. But that was Sumter does a great job of catching that.
And that was number 21 for the South Carolina defense on there. Number 21 in on that play is Timothy Castaigne, but pretty obvious flag there. I mean, his hands were all over the helmet.
So we'll wait to see, but
We had a face mask on the defense. We had an ineligible downfield on the offset.
Uh-oh.
Those penalties were offset. We'll replay third down.
Offsetting penalties. Well, unfortunately, that is going to nullify what was an incredible, very nice catch. So we're going to have to bring this back. 3rd and 3. And this time around on the ground. And look at him go. He is jersey tackled. Otherwise, he could break loose and go all the way into the end zone. But he is stopped up at the 10-yard line.
Number 21 on the carry, having some dinner of his own on the little celebration. To himself, though, not to the other team. That's the key. Number 21 on the carry, that is Zion Myers.
Great run. And he sets up North Carolina 1st and go from the 10. Ooh, tripped up and a good stop there.
He had a defender crashing down on him, but no doubt he tripped over his own lineman.
And a loss of about 2 yards. 2nd and go. The ball spotted at the 12-yard line. North Carolina threatening here, trying to take the lead back with 9:35 to go in the 4th quarter. Time. We're down to 10 seconds on the play clock. No time to waste here. Gets the snap off. Now scrambling with it and trying to maintain, but he is going to be brought down by a pair of defenders at the 11.
John Mark Shaw carrying the football there. He's a hoss at quarterback to have to bring down, so that's why you get multiple guys in there to tackle, and that's what South Carolina did that time.
He is our 6'4" player, right?
Shades of Ben Roethlisberger back in his younger days for this 8th grade team. And we've got another player down.
His incredible size. I'm amazed. 6'4", 8th grader.
Only an inch shorter than the actual Ben Roethlisberger.
9:05 to go here in the 4th quarter. We do have an injury timeout. Player being looked at by the trainers. Still a 15-12, a 3-point lead, at least temporarily, for South Carolina. North Carolina threatening here. But now they are going to be looking at 3rd and goal, and the ball is out here on the 11-yard line.
That's leaving under his own will now is number 82 for North Carolina. That is number 82 is Samuel Pendleton out of Lawsonville, North Carolina.
Looks like he's going to be all right.
He was the one that number 21 tripped over just a play ago.
All right, the challenge is on for the South Carolina defense. Challenge on for the North Carolina offense. It is 3rd and go. The ball is at the South Carolina 11. Here's the snap. Quarterback looking for a pass right into the end zone. No, incomplete.
There were literally 5 defenders blanketed around that one receiver, and it was going to be very, very difficult to complete that ball. Lucky that it didn't get picked off.
It now brings up 4th and go from the 11. What will the coaches do for this North Carolina team? All indications are they will go for it. Trips to the far side. Quarterback Shaw takes off with it now, fires, and it is picked off. Penalty flag is thrown immediately.
Oh, my
And what
goodness.
a hit on the return. Knocked out of bounds over on the far side at the 30-yard line.
You talk about people say quarterbacks don't want to get involved in there and make hits. How about John Mark Shaw battling against that misconception?
Ineligible downfield on the offense. That penalties decline. Your first down.
So, ineligible man downfield, the penalty against North Carolina, but that, of course, declined because the result is the interception. Here it is as we see the hit. Oh. Wow.
That reminds me of a young Andrew Luck at Stanford when he had that famous play that got picked off by a defender, and then he absolutely rocked him like he was playing linebacker.
That was one of the hardest hits we've seen today. And it was a quarterback who committed it.
The funny thing about that is Shaw and Andrew Luck roughly the same height.
And now on 1st and 10 from the 30. Couple of yards picked up here. And you kind of wonder if South Carolina maybe will try to be a bit conservative on this drive. We'll have to see. Still a lot of time.
I would say the game is still way too close at this point to start playing it conservative. There's too much time left. I would try to, keep your foot on the gas and add some more points.
2nd and 8.
Number 6, Raheem Jeter in there at quarterback.
Here's the snap. Here's his handoff. And tackle for a loss in the backfield this time. Great defensive move.
Looked like big number 91 in there on the play for North Carolina. That is number 91. If I can find the number. Caleb Smith out of Chapel Hill.
Third and 11. The ball at the 29-yard line. Here's the snap. Here's his handoff. Cutting to the near side and trying to turn that right corner. Runs into some traffic there against a defender and is tackled up at the 34.
Good tackle by the defender there, number 84 for North Carolina. That is Trent Huffam out of Wilmington.
So they didn't take that much time off the clock before now they face a 4th and 5 situation.
I'm wondering, it looks like they may punt this football away.
See, I would imagine. Now, the play clock is about to run down and gets the snap off just before it runs out. Here's his punt, and this is actually not bad. And it is going to be downed at the 29.
That was a good effort by number 89 of North Carolina, too, to really run back and get his hands on that one. That's Zion Booker out of Charlotte. If he doesn't get his hands on that football, it most likely rolls into the end zone for a touchback, which we actually have not seen a touchback today.
We have not
in any
all
of the games.
Day long. We've seen some strange plays, but yeah, we have not had a touchback.
So number 10, Alliam Appler, back in there at quarterback for North Carolina. And I've noticed these teams have a lot of quarterbacks on the roster. They pretty much let them take turns on each possession. I think that's about as good of a system as you can have for a game like this.
1st and 10, North Carolina. Quarterback has some time. Now he launches. And
number 20 on the reception for North Carolina, that is Aaron Foster Jr.
And let's see where they will spot this on the forward progress, because he encountered traffic and was driven backwards.
And these quarterbacks,
after the catch.
These quarterbacks, when they've been rolling out, they've been forced into some very, very risky throw decisions. We'll say that much. And a lot of them, the defense has made them pay for it. It's beautiful defensive football. Pressure the quarterback, force bad passes, pick them off.
2nd and 11 from the 28. And now the late pass step over here to the near sideline. Sails incomplete.
Looking for number 7 on that one. Number 7 is Ryken Maxwell out of Charlotte.
Clock stops with 5:07 left to go in the 4th quarter. North Carolina still trailing by 3. Another big 3rd down here for North Carolina. 3rd and 11 from their own 28. And pressure on the quarterback. He takes him down single-handedly.
Sacked on the play by number 5 for South Carolina, who we've mostly been seeing at running back. That is Coldren. Logan Coldren out of Simpsonville. And I like how he finished that off with the little trip there.
way back at the 20-yard line. That is a huge loss.
Good job to hang on to the quarterback, too, because sometimes they can be kind of elusive in the pocket.
4th and 19 here for North Carolina. Now, of course, a punt. And this one is going to be taken at the 42. And that's where the South Carolina offense will start. 1st and 10 from the North Carolina 42-yard line. 4:25 left to go in the game. Well, the fans who are here have been very, very vocal in this 8th grade matchup tonight.
Under 4.5 minutes to go in the game now. It's crunch time for North Carolina and South Carolina. Number 14 in at quarterback for South Carolina. That is Jaden Davis.
See what Davis will do here. 1st and 10 from the North Carolina 42. Hands it off. Man coming to the right. Trying to turn that corner. Runs into several defenders. And gains about 3 yards out of this.
It looks like number 9 on the carry for South Carolina. Number 9 is A.J. Gathers out of Mount Pleasant. And let's appreciate the good job by the quarterback there to corral that high snap. That could have it turned into a fairly routine play, but it could have been a very bad play.
Actually picked up 4 yards on that. 2nd and 6. And the clock continues to run down to 3:30 to go. Here's handoff. Look at the running room over here on the far side of the field, but whoa! He wraps him up, throws him to the turf.
Yeah, they're starting to get a little bit more aggressive here in crunch time.
And I believe I do see a penalty flag over there on the.
Yep. Defense, 5-yard penalty. On the end
it's
of
a
the
5-yard face mask penalty, but that will result in a 1st down for South Carolina. Penalty yardage will take it up to the 30. It's about 2 more yards than they needed to pick up the 1st down. So now, 1st and 10 at the North Carolina 30. South Carolina offense on the move, leading by 3. 3:10 to go.
And if you're South Carolina, you're in a good position here, but I would say you still need to, I think if you score here, that might be the dagger.
There's a handoff. Whoa, what a hit.
Wrapped up by big number 78 of North Carolina. That is, oh boy, 78 is Martez Smith out of Lewisburg, North Carolina. And sometimes we mentioned about the rosters earlier. Another thing about these that makes it challenging is the numbers for the jerseys are not in numerical order, so you kind of got to search for them a little bit. That's why it's taking me a little bit to get them every time.
Yeah, it is kind of difficult to read a roster when the numbers are like scattered. They're random, very random.
Kind of makes you play a little mini game in your head to have to find them.
Timeout taken here by North Carolina.
They'll have 1 left. South Carolina still with 2 timeouts.
2:52 to go in this contest. It's a 3-point spread. South Carolina 15-12
and so
over North Carolina.
Since we have an even number of games, if South Carolina ends up winning this one, we'll tie it up 2-2 each state respectively. If North Carolina somehow comes back and wins it, I guess they'll have some kind of bragging rights for the Carolina Bowl.
Here we go with the play, and here's a handoff, and not a whole lot of daylight. And oh yeah, he was.
Couple of the defenders, 89 and 91, both hit each other helmet to helmet, and they kind of shook each other, rung each other's bells a little bit.
Yeah, they collided with each other.
You could hear it.
And the play dead at the 29-yard line. So North Carolina forced to take its final timeout with 2:44 to go in the contest. This has been such a great day for football. You never know what to expect on a Saturday in January in North Carolina. But after the monsoons and the heavy rains over the past couple of weeks, the skies cleared today. We've just had a beautiful day here at Wallace Wade Stadium. And temperatures in the 50s earlier. Now we are in the upper 40s. This is just great football weather.
Oh, yes. Not too hot, not too cold.
It is 3rd and 9 for South Carolina. Here's the pitch. And look at the running room. Open up. Got the first down. I think he's going to take it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, South Carolina.
Number 3 for South Carolina on that touchdown. That's Jalen Neal. Jalen Neal with the wheels.
Wow, that was just a beautiful run.
And man, that was the smallest margin of error right there. If he would have had to go maybe 5 more yards, I don't think he would have got it. He would have been knocked out of bounds, but he didn't, so it's a touchdown.
That is absolutely, that's another one for the highlight reel, for sure.
And Jay, that might have been the dagger for South Carolina.
Now gives them a 9-point. They will try to tack on the extra point kick to make it a 10-point lead. Okay, here's his kick.
Jack Weil on the
right
kick.
Through the uprights. It is a 10-point lead for South Carolina. 2:35 to go. South Carolina 22, North Carolina 12. This is the Carolina Bowl. The Carolina Bowl, where the best become elite. Now the kick following South Carolina's touchdown. 2:35 left to go here in the contest. South Carolina now with a 10-point lead. Waiting for the officials to get set. And as soon as they blow the whistle, there we go. Now we can kick it off. Nice boot here. And right at the 20 is where North Carolina's offense will start the next drive. It will be difficult for North Carolina, now trailing by 10 points. But we'll see what kind of a drive they can put together with 2.5 minutes to go.
And yeah, with North Carolina here, we'll see if they can mount something. There is a little bit of time to work with, but they're going to have to get something going quickly.
Quarterback scrambles to his left, now fires a long pass attempt.
Oh!
Whoa!
That...
Oh!
If he would have caught that football, I think he would have hit his head on the goalpost. That would have been a score for sure. Shades of, if you remember a few years ago, when Auburn made their national championship run, they had a similar play like that in which they beat Georgia.
Look at how close this is. On the replay, Roberson, target. Oh, my.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was, I believe, number 8 who was bobbling the ball that time. Isaiah Roberson, yeah, you said. Number 12, and at quarterback, Austin Havens.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, we have to have a few more penalty flags before the night's over. And this being the 5-yarder charge against North Carolina pushes them back to the 15-yard line. Try this again. 2nd and 15. Back, here's a pass, and this one back down,
Great
incomplete.
defense. Great defense by number 4, Jalen Neal for the, or excuse me, not Jalen Neal. Number 4 is, I'm pretty sure there's 2 number 4s. I believe that's Gabe White. Gabe White on the pass breakup.
3rd and 15. Here's the snap. Here's the long pass attempt way up the field and way overthrown and really almost in the vicinity of 2 defenders who a little bit farther up the field there, they would have had the interception. Clock stops with 2:19 to go. It is now 4th and 15. This could be the last offensive play unless North Carolina can figure out a way to keep this drive alive. Snap, rolling back, heavy pressure, going to go down.
Wrapped up by number 38 and finished by number 58 for South Carolina. 38, that is, I have just seen his name a minute ago. William Roper is number 38, and then number 58 is Wanjay Ford out of Greenville, South Carolina. Excellent way to probably seal this game.
And look at where they dropped him back inside the 10-yard line. So they take over.
With no timeouts left for North Carolina either.
So they take over 1st and goal at the 9-yard line and enjoying a 10-point lead. We're down to 2 minutes to go. Play clock is down to 10 seconds. Ticking down. Do a good job of letting it go way down. Now handing off here. Keeping it on the ground, of course. That will keep the clock rolling. Going to pick up a 4 yards. Clock continues to run. We're down to 1.5 minutes to go. What a great day of football.
Oh,
here
yeah.
at Duke University. 4 very good games today.
And a wide variety of flavors of game, too. If you like a little offense, if you like a little defense, if you like some of both, I mean, options all over the place.
We've seen a wide variety here today. Handoff here. Whoa, you can hear that hitting. Way up here, high atop the stadium.
The only thing is, if you're a special teams connoisseur, we might not be what you're looking for here.
Yeah, not a lot of special teams to really get excited about when you.
Not that I know many special teams connoisseurs, but hey, there
Well,
are people.
now,
There are
hang
people
on a
that
minute.
coach.
There probably are some kickers out there who say, "Hey, I've spent my whole career developing my kicking game."
Adam Vinatieri, highest scoring NFL player in history.
Clock is running. Well, they've stopped it momentarily at the 57 seconds to go.
Third and goal.
3rd and go. They're just inside the 5-yard line. Okay, they're watching the play clock now. Game clock is rolling, 45-13 on the play clock. Actually, they may let the play clock run all the way down, take the 5-yard penalty.
I mean, why not?
And then I think a knee will do it.
Timeout, South Carolina. That's a second charge.
Took a timeout.
Took a timeout as the play clock was expiring. So the game clock now at 31 seconds. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe they have the victory formation, take the knee, and walk away with a 10-point come-from-behind win over North Carolina.
Yeah, I'd say this 8th grade game, it's as we mentioned earlier, I think it's lived up to the hype of maybe the best of the 4. Although that 7th grade game was awesome as well.
I find it hard to pick one because I thought all four were enjoyable, but for different reasons.
I will say this one is unique in that it's the only one where the team who was leading got overtaken and is going to lose.
So that means with the win here today, that means South Carolina captured the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th grade games, and North Carolina taking that 6th grade with a 34-0 shutout of South Carolina. Here's the play, and he's going to take it into the end zone to seal the deal with another 6 points.
Number 6, Raheem Jeter, with the exclamation point, the cherry on top, whatever you want to call it, that this game is over.
Just collect the TD, get those 6 points. Good job on that fake.
Shades of your main man, Cam Newton, on that one.
28-12 now. And they will line up for a point after kick to make it 29-12.
Jack Wow will tip the extra point.
What a comeback here in the second half for this South Carolina team. And he drills it through the uprights. It's good.
And
South Carolina 29, North Carolina 12. 25 seconds remain on the clock.
And I think out of all the games we've seen today, I am kind of interested to stay behind a little bit to see who gets the awards at the awards ceremony, because I think out of all four of them, this is going to be the hardest one to choose from because so many players made plays.
I think this is going to be very difficult to select the award recipients. And of course, that comes up during the post game at the award ceremony.
Yeah, that's the one cool thing about it for us is you and I don't have the burden of choosing it this time around.
I am thankful in this game that I don't have a vote in this decision, because I think it would be very difficult to pick out, single out anybody. I really think part of South Carolina is keep in mind some of these guys have only been together for a few days.
Yeah, and that's something that I think people may not realize. Some people may not think that's as big a deal, but like you build up a chemistry with certain guys, and I think that with this team we have a lot of guys from the same places. Like we have a lot of Durham kids, a lot of Simpsonville kids, and when those kids, you know, they have a little bit better chemistry and know each other's tendencies better, it makes a difference.
But I think the South Carolina team has shown some cohesiveness to come from behind here in the second half. So it looks like we may have time for one more play, maybe two at the very most. And on that kick, it is going to be down to at the 27. So the North Carolina offense will come back out onto the field.
I'd say just make this last play, maybe two plays, exciting ones.
Might as well. It's impossible to make up the point difference here. 17-point spread.
You know something we haven't seen today? We have not seen a hook and ladder yet.
Ooh, had not even thought about that, but wouldn't that be fun to try? But I wonder if they've even had an opportunity to try that during practice.
I'm not expecting to see it. I was just trying to name something we haven't seen.
Final timeout taken now. Wow, what an honor, what a privilege. It has been so much fun today. Be a part of Carolina Bowl here at Wallace Wade Stadium at Duke University. Once again, I cannot say enough about the hospitality here at Duke and the event staff. Wow, they have all been super here today. We thank them for their hospitality, their warm welcome for these Carolina Bowl games. Here's the snap. Quarterback is going to go down.
Sandwiched in between number 51 and what is that other number there? 98. 51 for the South Carolina defense. That is 51. Where are you, 51?
Sandwich back there at about the 15-yard line, but it looks like they will put the ball down at about the 17 or 18-yard line.
51 is Tyler Prescott from North Augusta, South Carolina. And 98 is...
We do have a penalty flag on the play.
98 is Christian Jimenez out of Taylors, South Carolina. Excuse me.
And the officials are talking about this one. Clock has stopped with 1 second left.
Illegal participation on the defense, 12 men on the field, 15-yard penalty.
12 men on the field. The call against South Carolina. And the penalty being assessed, this will put the ball up at the 44-yard line. But now 1 second. All that remains on the game clock. So barring a penalty, this will be the last play of the day.
How fitting it is, though, to have a penalty here at the end for this game.
We've had a lot of penalty
Please put
flags.
4 seconds back on the game clock.
Oh, now we're going to get four seconds on the game clock.
Last QB to take the field for North Carolina is number 14, Justin Wheeler.
And quickly, delivering pass caught over here on the near side of the field, 50 at the 40, and going to be driven out of bounds at the 40-yard line. It is over, and that is a final here tonight in the battle of the 8th graders. South Carolina with a come-from-behind 17-point win over North Carolina. We have a penalty flag.
Oh,
Got a blindside block on the offense. That penalty's declined. Game's over.
Okay, so it is over. 17-point come-from-behind win for South Carolina, 29-12 over North Carolina.
Listen, here's what I want to talk to you about, Will. I felt as though what was important for you all is all of the energy and aggression that you came out with, you especially. Where did that come from?
I was in the locker room, and there was a player that had the Lord will always be by your side, and he was.
And he was. That was huge. Great game from you. You guys, you can clap it up for him. Both teams, we can clap it up for them. And you, sir, Casey, 2 touchdowns on the day. Let's start with that first one on defense. What did you see? Walk me through it.
All right, so I took my back pedal steps, and then when I back pedaled, I just read the quarterback eyes. He was just staring down the receiver, he picked it off and went for 6.
And then on that huge run, I mean, that was a home run hit as well. That one opened up, you hit the hole. What'd you see there?
I just seen the open field, and I took it.
And you're giving credit to your offensive line out there. They don't get enough credit.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to the offensive line. Will, I'll get you all out of here on this. You all win the Carolina Bowl. What feelings, what emotions, what thoughts are going through your body right now?
I'm just happy.
That's it? All the energy you had. You're just happy? You're just happy. Congratulations, fellas. Carolina Bowl 2019.
Now the coaches and the players are heading to the awards presentation area at the closed end of the stadium.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Man, we can't give enough awards in this situation. You guys were fantastic for last game night. I can't say enough about the coaches and the coaching that you guys got in 5 practices and a half, should I say. Unbelievable job. A hard-hitting game that was played fast. This is what you have to look forward to. As you move on from this level and move to the high school level, some of you will move on to JV, but a few of you will move on to varsity. And it's going to be like this. High intense, high impact. Your role might not be a big role, but it's going to be an important role. And so as you move on, we wanted to give you a little bit of what it takes to have success when you move on to this next level. And you're not always going to have success. It's going to be a bigger boy, a couple of years older than you, a little bit stronger than you, that's got a little more experience than you. And you won't have success, but you're going to fall forward because of this experience. You've had great coaching. Coach Ware and Coach Porter are state champion coaches. You got good work. And you should be thankful for the opportunity that you got to get to run against the kids you played against. For those of you that played a little, played some, you got a great week of work. You got a great week of work and practice against good people. Some of you played people that are better than anybody you played against all year. And that's an honor to you. You did a great job of coming here, representing yourself. You played high impact, high impact. And you controlled your emotions. And for that, you belong in the Carolina Bowl. Congratulations.
All right. Yeah, now for all of our parents, I know that you all have hung around. You stayed through an emotional and a very, very good game. How about all of our families give our young men a huge round of applause? They played their hearts out there on the football field this evening. Love is in the building. Love is in the building. Football, the ultimate team sport. You learn as much about life as you do about football out there on the football field. No one individual can be successful without the other 10 people that are with them on the field and without the other 30 to 40 that are in the locker room with them. That said, we do want to acknowledge some individual performances by our young men here this evening. The first award that we're going to give out is our Unsung Hero Award. The winner of the Unsung Hero Award for Team North Carolina, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Trent Hoffman. One more round of applause, give it up for Unsung Hero for Team South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than Big C. Come on up. One more round of applause, give it up for Big C. MVP for Team North Carolina, Mr. Aaron Foster. Congratulations. One more round of applause for Mr. Foster. Game MVP, Team South Carolina. Back up here, it up for Mr. Will. Come on up, Will. Right there, Will. You're staying right there. In our overall game MVP, with a touchdown on both offense and defense, man of many words, give it up for Mr. Casey Fields. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, this is an awesome game. We had a great, all of you, clap it up for yourselves. Clap it up for yourselves. You've had an excellent week. This week was about so much more than just this football game. So much more than this football game. This has been Carolina Bowl 2019. It's been an outstanding experience. Duke, you've been an excellent host. We appreciate each and every one of you. Directions to our parents, these young men, they're gonna go up, they're gonna get dressed, they're gonna get changed. You'll be able to pick them up right over there at 13 even. Again, all of our parents, none of this would be possible without you. To our student athletes, we're gonna be here for you. A couple of words. Letting everybody know that the stadium will be closed officially by 10:25. So we got to get up out of here. You don't got to go home, but we got to leave Duke. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Carolina Bowl 2019.